Welcome to Mojoy Minds.
Before we begin, this is not a tutorial, not a guide to practice, and not an encouragement to try anything described in this book. Nothing here is about gaining power over others. This review is based on Elementary Psionics by Charles W. Cosimano, a modern text presenting psionics as a practical system for thought-based influence and personal power. From the very first pages, Elementary Psionics makes its position clear. This book is not interested in spirituality, enlightenment, or collective good. It is about using thought as a tool for influence, attraction, manipulation, and personal advantage. The author frames psionics as a natural human ability, something everyone already possesses and can train. Psychic power is presented as no more mystical than electricity, a force that permeates everything, can be stored, transmitted, amplified, and directed through intention, visualization, and simple devices. That framing is deliberate. By removing mystery, the book removes hesitation. Psionics is not sacred here, it's mechanical. Thought becomes energy. Energy becomes leverage. The text repeatedly insists that there is nothing morally special about psychic ability. You can use it for any purpose you choose. No higher law applies. No spiritual consequence is acknowledged. The reader is positioned as the sole authority over how the power is used. That's one of the most important things to notice. This book does not warn, it liberates without boundaries. The techniques themselves are simple: meditation for concentration, visualization to build thought forms, using imagined energy fields to influence people, objects, situations, and outcomes. Props like pendulums, rotors, and homemade devices are introduced, not as necessities, but as amplifiers, psychological anchors that help the mind focus. From a psychological perspective, this makes sense. Focused attention does change perception, behavior, confidence, and interpersonal dynamics. Visualization does affect decision-making and emotional states. Suggestion, intention, and expectation can influence outcomes, especially social ones. But the book goes further than psychology. It presents influence over others, emotional, behavioral, even physical, as acceptable and sometimes humorous. Commands like turn, approach, desire, and attract are framed as experiments or games. The ethical implications are brushed aside as naive moralism. That's where the book crosses a line. My honest opinion is this: elementary psionics is not dangerous because it teaches secret powers. It's concerning because it normalizes manipulation without reflection. The author repeatedly mocks religion, morality, and ethical restraint as tools of the weak-minded. Compassion is treated as optional. Responsibility is treated as a personal inconvenience. Power is defined as the ability to make the world, and other people, behave the way you want. That mindset is not neutral. Even if none of the metaphysical claims are literally true, the psychological framing alone can encourage entitlement, boundary blindness, and a sense of superiority. When people are taught that influence is theirs by right, empathy tends to erode. And unlike symbolic texts or mythological systems, this book doesn't ask the reader to interpret, it asks them to act. So what do we take from this? The value of elementary psionics is not in its techniques. The value is in understanding how empowerment narratives work when ethics are removed. This book is a clear example of how easily self-mastery turns into control over others when no moral framework is present. It shows how confidence, belief, and focused intention can feel like power, even when that power is largely psychological. The solution is grounding. Power without ethics is not freedom, it's imbalance. Influence without consent is not mastery, it's intrusion. And discipline without accountability is not wisdom. If anything, this book reminds us that real development requires restraint, not just capability. Knowing how to influence is meaningless if you never ask whether you should. Discernment isn't weakness. It's what keeps power human.
If this perspective made you think, don't forget to like, share, and/or subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment.